Courtney, that was bloody fantastic.
Thank you.
Let me tell you something, Courtney. Something has changed in you. Trust me. In the time you were on the show last year to now, your interaction with the audience, the confidence. I think this has been my favourite performance of you so far.
Imagine stepping onto one of the biggest stages in the world at just 13 years old. The lights are blinding. Millions of people are watching. The judges are waiting. And standing just a few feet away is Simon Cowell, the man whose opinion has launched careers and crushed dreams in equal measure. Most contestants walk onto that stage hoping to survive their audition. Courtney Hadwin walked onto it and changed her life forever. When she first appeared on America's Got Talent in 2018, she didn't look like the next global music sensation. Quiet. Nervous. Almost painfully shy. She barely made eye contact with the judges. Even Simon Cowell noticed how uncomfortable she seemed before the music started. Then everything changed. The moment the first notes of Hard to Handle filled the theater, it was as if an entirely different person had stepped onto the stage. Suddenly, the shy teenager disappeared, replaced by an explosive performer with a powerful, soulful voice that sounded decades older than her age. The audience erupted. The judges stared in disbelief. Simon Cowell, famous for rarely showing emotion, leaned back in amazement before telling Courtney something that millions of viewers would never forget. "You were this shy little thing when you came out, and then you sing, and you're like a lion." It became one of the defining moments of the season. Howie Mandel was so impressed that he slammed the golden buzzer, sending Courtney straight to the live shows. Almost overnight, the world knew her name. But while most people remember that unforgettable audition, very few know the story that began long before America ever heard her sing. Courtney Hadwin wasn't born into fame. She grew up in Heselden, a small former mining village in County Durham, England. It wasn't the kind of place people usually associate with future international stars. Her family lived an ordinary life. Music, however, quickly became extraordinary. According to her own story, Courtney started singing as a young child around the house. Like many children, she enjoyed performing, but everything changed after watching another young singer, Connie Talbot, on Britain's Got Talent. That performance inspired her to take singing seriously. By the time she was around 9 or 10 years old, she had begun developing her voice and performing wherever she could. One school performance would unexpectedly become an important milestone. While attending school, Courtney performed Say Something during a lunchtime open mic session. Someone uploaded the performance online. It quickly attracted attention. Students, teachers, and local audiences were stunned by the maturity of her voice. Suddenly, people around her realized this quiet schoolgirl possessed something incredibly rare. Rather than simply enjoying the praise, Courtney worked even harder. She began taking professional singing lessons. She explored musical theater. She performed covers. Most importantly, she kept practicing. Her family became her biggest supporters. According to accounts shared about those early years, her grandfather later explained that Courtney even performed as a busker to help contribute towards singing lessons and travel costs. Her parents also made enormous sacrifices to support her growing dream. Long before television audiences discovered her, her family already believed she could become something special. Success didn't happen overnight. Years before America's Got Talent, Courtney entered numerous competitions across the United Kingdom. Each competition gave her valuable experience. Each performance helped build confidence. In 2015, she reached the grand final of Teen Star UK. In 2016, she received Hartlepool's Performer of the Year award and continued appearing in other regional competitions. She even opened for Sister Sledge during the South Tyneside Festival, performing in front of thousands of people, an experience few teenagers ever receive. Then came another major opportunity: The Voice Kids UK. Courtney impressed the coaches with performances full of energy and raw emotion, eventually reaching the finals. Although she didn't win, she continued proving something that many industry professionals had already begun noticing. She wasn't trying to imitate famous singers. She sounded different. She had developed her own identity. That uniqueness would later become her greatest strength. By early 2018, Courtney had built enough momentum that an invitation arrived which would change everything. America's Got Talent. Crossing the Atlantic meant leaving behind familiar surroundings and stepping into one of television's biggest talent competitions. No one could predict what would happen next. Not even Courtney herself. When she first walked on stage, viewers saw an awkward 13-year-old who looked terrified. Simon Cowell even asked if she was nervous. She quietly admitted that she was. Everything about her appearance suggested she might freeze under pressure. Instead, the exact opposite happened. The moment she started singing, the theater exploded with excitement. Her raspy voice reminded many viewers of legendary rock and blues singers. Howie Mandel compared her vocal style to another iconic performer. The audience stood. The judges smiled in disbelief. Social media exploded. Within hours, clips of her audition spread across the internet, introducing Courtney Hadwin to millions of viewers around the world. The audition became more than just another viral video. It transformed Courtney into an international star almost overnight. Week after week she returned to perform during the live rounds, continuing to surprise audiences with her energy and distinctive voice. She eventually finished 6th overall. Although she didn't win the competition, many people considered her one of the biggest discoveries of that season. Sometimes winning isn't the most important outcome. Being remembered is. And Courtney Hadwin was impossible to forget. Her performances reached audiences around the world. Television appearances followed. Media interviews increased. Music industry executives began paying close attention. One person, in particular, saw enormous potential. Simon Cowell. Shortly after the competition ended, Courtney signed a recording agreement involving Simon Cowell's Syco music alongside Arista Records. For a 14-year-old singer, it looked like the beginning of a dream career. From the outside, everything appeared perfect. She had global recognition. A major record deal. Millions of fans. And one of the biggest names in entertainment supporting her journey. It seemed like nothing could go wrong. But fame has a way of changing lives faster than anyone expects. Behind the headlines, behind the applause, and behind the excitement of becoming an international sensation, a completely different challenge was about to begin. When Courtney Hadwin left the America's Got Talent stage in 2018, it looked like she had achieved what every young singer dreams about. Millions of people knew her name. Her audition had become one of the most talked about performances of the year. Music executives were lining up. The future seemed limitless. And then came the announcement that convinced many people she was destined to become the music industry's next big star. Shortly after America's Got Talent ended, Courtney signed a recording and publishing deal with Syco Music, Simon Cowell's label, in partnership with Arista Records. For any young artist, especially someone only 14 years old, it sounded like the opportunity of a lifetime. Fans celebrated the news. Industry insiders predicted chart success. Many believed it was only a matter of time before Courtney released a hit album and became one of the biggest new names in music. From the outside, everything looked perfect. But behind the scenes, reality was far more complicated. For years, Courtney had sung simply because she loved music. She performed in school halls, local competitions, theaters, and festivals. Now everything was different. Instead of singing for the joy of performing, she suddenly found herself inside one of the world's biggest music businesses. There were producers, songwriters, record executives, marketing teams, schedules, interviews, studio sessions, travel between the United Kingdom and the United States. Every week brought another expectation, another meeting, another decision. For an experienced adult, it would have been demanding. For a 14-year-old teenager, it was overwhelming. According to later interviews referenced in the uploaded transcript, Courtney eventually felt that too many people were trying to decide what kind of artist she should become. Rather than discovering her own musical identity naturally, she felt pressure to fit an image that others believed would succeed commercially. The comparisons didn't help. Ever since her AGT audition, people had compared her to Janis Joplin because of her powerful, raspy voice. While many intended it as praise, those comparisons created enormous expectations. Instead of allowing Courtney to develop into herself, people wanted another legend. The industry saw enormous commercial potential. But Courtney was still discovering who she wanted to be. The more recording sessions she attended, the more difficult that balance became. According to the uploaded script, she later reflected that people around her kept telling her who she should sound like and who she should become as an artist. That kind of pressure can slowly change the way an artist feels about creating music. What once felt exciting can begin to feel exhausting. The workload also intensified. Recording sessions became routine. Meetings replaced free time. Traveling became part of everyday life. Instead of living like an ordinary teenager, Courtney was trying to balance adolescence with the demands of an international music career. She was expected to record songs, attend promotional events, remain ready for interviews, and continue building momentum after one of the biggest television moments of her life. According to the uploaded source, this constant pace gradually became emotionally draining, leaving Courtney feeling increasingly detached from the music she was creating. From the outside, fans only saw success. Inside, she was still just a teenager trying to understand a world that moved much faster than she did. As time passed, something unusual began happening. Courtney became quieter. Her public appearances slowed down. Her social media activity became less frequent. Fans noticed almost immediately. Questions spread online. Where had Courtney gone? Why wasn't she releasing more music? Had something happened? Rumors quickly filled the silence. Some people assumed creative disagreements. Others invented completely false stories. But as the uploaded transcript explains, there was no verified evidence supporting many of those rumors. Instead, Courtney gradually stepped back while trying to regain control over her own artistic direction. Sometimes silence creates more speculation than success ever does. During this period, another misconception also began spreading. Many viewers believed Simon Cowell had personally mentored Courtney throughout her career. The uploaded transcript presents a different perspective. It explains that Simon's role was primarily as the executive who recognized her talent and later signed her to his label, not as a day-to-day personal mentor. As his television career continued and new seasons introduced new contestants, Courtney's professional relationship with the label gradually faded into the background. That doesn't necessarily mean there was conflict. It simply reflects how the music industry often moves from one project to the next. Meanwhile, Courtney had her own journey to navigate. Instead of giving up on music, she chose a different path. Rather than chasing the same expectations that had once surrounded her career, Courtney slowly began rebuilding as an independent artist. This time, she wanted something different. Creative freedom. According to the uploaded transcript, working with producer Kevin Bowe marked an important turning point. Instead of trying to become the artist everyone expected, Courtney focused on creating music that reflected her own experiences and emotions. The songs she began writing explored vulnerability, identity, resilience, and personal growth. Those themes felt more authentic to her than simply chasing commercial success. By 2025, Courtney's career looked very different from the one many people imagined back in 2018. She was no longer trying to recreate her AGT moment. She was creating something entirely her own. The uploaded transcript describes this period as a rebirth, with Courtney embracing creative ownership and releasing music that reflected her own voice rather than industry expectations. Fans responded positively. Critics praised the honesty of her newer material. Instead of being remembered only as the shy teenager with the unforgettable audition, she was beginning to earn recognition as an artist in her own right. One claim has continued circulating online. Many viral videos suggest that Simon Cowell later became emotional and admitted that Courtney had been pushed too hard at too young an age. However, it's important to separate verified information from internet speculation. The uploaded transcript itself states that no reputable journalist or mainstream outlet had verified those alleged remarks, and it presents them as claims circulating in viral videos rather than established fact. That distinction matters. The real story isn't whether Simon Cowell cried. The real story is that Courtney Hadwin faced enormous pressure at a very young age, stepped away to rediscover herself, and ultimately chose to rebuild her career on her own terms. Today, she continues writing, recording and performing while focusing on authenticity rather than simply chasing fame. According to the uploaded transcript, she has remained active creatively, continues engaging with fans, and is building her career with a renewed sense of artistic independence. Courtney's journey serves as a reminder that viral success is only the beginning of a career. Staying true to yourself after the spotlight fades can be an even greater challenge. And sometimes, the strongest comeback isn't about becoming more famous. It's about finally becoming yourself.